What's up, guys? We're Robot Slippers. We're an online video game talk show.
Sure.
My name's Stefano.
I'm Patrick.
I'm Pasquale.
And this is our weekly podcast. This week, I'm sure, hopefully you know that already, but this week we're going to talk about some 3 topics. I'll introduce the topics right now, we'll get into it, and then we'll go into them a little bit deeper, okay? So,
Sure.
I'm going to kind of talk about and touch on the Mass Effect article that came out on Kotaku. I recommend everyone go and read it. It's just going to be the basis for my topic, which is going to be games that are delayed and how we feel about it. But everyone should go read that article. Jason Schreier kills it. It's an amazing article. 3 months worth of work, just great investigative journalism.
Yeah.
Cool.
Your topic is going to be the Pokemon Direct, right?
Yes.
Yeah, you're going to go into detail, let us know what happened, and we're going to...
A little bit, yeah. We've all seen it now.
Yeah.
So
Took us a while.
we could all actually talk about it. But, it's pretty much what you expect whenever whenever there's an announcement. Some people are happy, some people are not as happy.
And we'll go through that.
Yeah.
And you're talking about the leaked games.
Leaked games.
More specifically...
Well, we'll go into it, but just leaked games.
Generally.
Yeah.
With some few examples more in mind.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Okay, so to go into my topic first, we're going to talk about just delayed games. So Mass Effect, as we all know, came out a few months ago, 3 months ago roughly. It's a hot mess when it came out. Hot mess, animations were all messed up, lots of bad things, just did not look like a complete game. Story is kind of boring, pacing's a little weird, animations were all sorts of janky, people walking weird, messing up, just a hot mess.
Yeah.
They've been releasing patches making it a lot better, but it's still not so great. Jason Schreier wrote this great article on it, interviewed a lot of investigative journalism about the actual process of the 5-year development. Just to briefly sum it up again, I really recommend you go read it, but something like that game was in existence for 5 years being developed, but the current game we actually played is only 18 months worth of development time. Because of the amount of times it got canceled, new writers came on, new things happened. That game is actually only 18 months worth, and a lot of the problems actually came from them not knowing how to use Frostbite and Frostbite being weird for them, and it causing a lot of issues for the development time. And
Right.
the details, again, I recommend you go read it because I'm going to explain it way worse than they did in that article, so go read it. But in that general idea, what are your guys' feelings on delayed games and the effect they have on the industry? Would you rather people didn't announce games until they're fully ready? Are you okay when games are delayed? Does it make you happy? Similar games that got delayed was Red Dead Redemption 2 got delayed, and so did Shadows of War. So a few games have gotten delayed in the last few weeks, as generally they do. None of that is surprising. That's how games work. But how do you guys feel about that?
So I think delayed games wouldn't be a problem if people would just not talk about them until they're actually ready. We live in a world where a game is announced 3 years before it's actually ready for the public. Why? I know you want to get that hype going, but if you still have 3 years, 2 years, a year full of work ahead of you, do the work.
Yeah.
This way, you don't have to delay it because nothing is public.
Yeah.
It's this constant hype cycle that people or developers try to build up around their product. It's hey, this is coming out in 2.5 years. Get ready. Oh, by the way, we're going to need a little bit more time. It's why would you tell us that this thing is coming out in 2020? Why couldn't you just work on it, and then if there is any problem, fix it? And then you could announce it when it's good and ready, or when you're going gold, or when you're ready to put it out. Even a year ahead, that's fine. I understand you need to have word out, and you need to start get interest and all that. But we see these problems that come out of it. And we just did our E3 show. E3 is very famous for a whole bunch of announcements that either disappear for years at a time, get pushed back, or just die.
Yeah.
And that's a problem.
Scalebound.
I would say if you're gonna
Scalebound, yeah. That was the one Xbox game where I'm I want this because I'm a huge fan of Platinum Games.
Come on.
I would say if you're gonna announce it, have the game 75% complete, so that way by that point you're pretty sure it's gonna come out.
Yeah.
When you think it's gonna come out, and everything's in the process, and you just have maybe a couple touch-ups here and there, whatever. And by that point, 75%, you're maybe a year at most to release, right?
No, to be fair, I know basic game development. I know how to make a game, and I know stuff breaks.
Yeah.
Very easy.
That's fair. And I know that there's stuff that's unavoidable. Things go wrong, stuff stops working, you change the position of one rock and all of a sudden your entire world just explodes, right? It's these are things that happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I understand that that's a serious problem.
Yeah.
Could you imagine that happening in a Skyrim game? Just
I
the whole game collapses?
Was that not a bug that they had?
There were so many things in that game, so many different variations. There's that one glitch, it's if you wear this hat at this point
Yeah,
in time,
I
at this
love-
hour, and you walk through, it crashes and deletes your
Oh,
save.
I love stuff like
Just
that.
like, for some reason, this combination of this outfit with this point in the story and this gun, walk through this town, game crashes.
I love, see, I
And
love
wipes
stuff
your
like
save. There's a game over.
Yeah.
There's
And it's like,
way-
what?
you
Why
can't
did I
test
do
for
it?
that.
Exactly.
You can't test for that. That's just a thing that happens, and like,
They're
okay.
pretty good at finding them, but it's like there's
That's
some stuff
impossible.
that's just
There's
like
too many
how?
things, like especially games like that.
Yeah.
I do think, like, I'm kind of in the middle. Like, I do think that games need to be announced early because they need to gauge interest. That being said,
Yeah.
That's
they need to
true.
not make
They need to not hype it
promises.
so much.
Not even just. You're right.
Yeah.
Announce the game, stop talking about it. But also,
Yes.
you need to. They need to stop setting promises. Don't tell me a date. Don't tell me by this year and then not make it. Just be like, this is a thing. This is what we're working on. This exists in the world. And I guess people will still be upset. People will be more upset if you announce a date and don't make it than if you don't
Yeah.
announce
People
a date.
are not going to be upset about something they don't know about.
Exactly. Like
Point in case.
Maybe. Half-Life 3.
You guys hear about this little game, Kingdom Hearts 3?
3 more years.
Stop!
3 more years.
Stop!
3 more years.
How's that going?
No.
How do you
It's
feel
been-
about that?
It's been 800 years already.
I mean, yeah.
Give it.
3 years in Kingdom in Square Enix time
I'm
is like 30 years.
so mad.
You'll be 55 years old.
I'll be dead.
Oh yeah,
Pretty much.
that's. I mean, that's not. You won't be dead.
Why? Like, just give me the game. It's been at least 12 years, maybe 15. I don't know. I've lost track of time.
But see, this is the problem with
But-
it. Like, just I understand things happen. That's fine. But like, just do it.
But the thing is with them, I'm pretty sure it's because they're putting all the resources into Final Fantasy stuff. Like, take 20% of that and put into Kingdom Hearts. At least get it going. Get it
Dude,
somewhere.
The guy who's making the Final Fantasy VII remake didn't know he was the game director when they announced it.
He's just sitting in the audience. It's like, my
He's like,
name's
"What?"
on that. Wait, what?
Am I getting paid?
Like, you know what I mean? So like there's a lot of problems. That's not the point.
It's not, but I understand.
I
Like,
get what you mean.
yeah, but
I think like also what it comes down to, like, so obviously we like as a gaming audience we like when games get delayed because not we don't like it.
No.
We know it means they're trying to work on it.
yes,
and
at
make
least
better.
it gives you an idea that like, okay, something was wrong. They're fixing it. Hopefully, it's gonna be great.
There
when it
are
comes out.
occasions where developers are like, we need more time on this.
Yeah,
And sometimes that works out great. Breath of the Wild.
there you go.
They took an extra 2
Eight.
goddamn years. But, I mean, I don't think there's anybody out there that would argue that it's a bad game.
But that being
There are
said,
problems with it, sure, but like,
Overall, it's a
yeah.
very good game.
That being said, a lot of times you'll notice games like Mass Effect get released even though they should not be ready for release.
yeah.
PR
PR
Drive
marketing.
Club gets released, was not ready to go. So
They
do
need
you
to have something to
feel
show on their report.
Like,
Yeah.
like
They have to-
publishers need to take some onus on themselves and take responsibility in the fact this is their fault that a lot of these games are broken and aren't going to be as good, or these games are overhyped.
And it's our
Case
fault
in
for
point,
buying them.
That's
we don't
it.
know Mass Effect's going to be broken. It's been alive since 5
Oh, no,
years.
no, I'm
We
not
don't
saying
know the
specifically
details.
Mass Effect. I'm just saying, like, there's a precedent that builds up with some developers.
Thing is, developers they have to show the stakeholders. They're like, this
You're
is
right.
this is the process. This is what's happening. We showed the public a little. Like,
But
they
I
get it
agree with
going
you.
so they get their funding.
But
Otherwise, it's not happening.
You burn a company, you burn your market too many times, they're going to stop coming around.
But it won't. They've
They
done
will.
it so many
It happened
times
with
now.
Assassin's Creed. People did not buy Hey Unity. They didn't buy Syndicate. That's why they make it wait a year.
That's fair.
People
But there was still
listen.
a good enough portion where people did buy Syndicate anyway.
Not enough to keep
Not-
it going another year.
Not enough.
There's a reason.
Well, no, I think they had planned that from before.
I don't think so.
I'm not sure, but
I mean,
okay.
they're big games. They might have planned it from more, but I feel like because the guy quote said, "If you guys keep buying our games, we will keep making them every year."
Yeah.
And they stopped buying them.
Yeah, why wouldn't they? I mean, that's not him being an asshole.
No,
That's
that's
just him
my
being
point.
like, if you
So-
guys buy them, then why would
But
we
to
not
be fair,
put
they
them
were
out?
releasing newer IPs at the time, so they had something to fill that year that they took
Well,
off.
most publishers do, but like even still, my point is like if you just take a note from that, listen to your audience. If your audience is getting pissed off that Mass Effect wasn't finished, maybe it's better to be like, okay, maybe give Mass Effect another year.
Well, I mean, look what they did with Mass Effect 3. They gave it another ending because people were pissed.
yeah, but that's not. Yeah, that's not
Yeah,
even
but
what I
that's-
mean. Like
but-
that's just
I get
cinematic.
it.
You can render that like
Yeah.
whatever. But I just think like they need to give these developers more time. The developer doesn't want to release a broken game. No developer's
No.
like, you know what, I'm really excited to make sure this game doesn't work. Because fuck you. Like, no,
Pretty much.
they want the game to work. They want you to love this thing they poured their heart and soul into for like years. Game development is not easy.
It's not. It takes a long
It's
time.
freaking
Yeah,
hard.
no, despite what the people believe, no developer is like sitting alone in this ice castle just going, it's like, I can't wait to screw over the player base. Like,
Yeah.
they're making these games, people like
There might be.
dedicate their
Yeah.
lives
Phil Fish.
to games. Like there are people that they dedicate their lives to making
Yeah.
games.
Yeah,
And they put everything into it.
and they love
Yeah.
games too.
There's-
They want to play good
I
games.
guarantee you, like, how do you think the people feel like the
They're-
people that worked on Federation Force? I guarantee you, they would have been really excited to make that game. It's like, oh, I'm working on a new Metroid game. Everybody's been asking for Metroid. They're gonna love it, and then, boom, they hit that wall. Then like they have to keep working
Yeah.
on it, and they're like, oh god.
Like this isn't gonna work or
Everyone's
something.
The
gonna
people
hate
that
us.
worked on Corey in the House for DS, the game was a masterpiece.
Why do you know that?
What do you mean? Why do I know that?
It
What?
was not a masterpiece. I played that game. It was bad.
It's great.
What? Why are you playing this game?
I can't wait
I
for
had
the anime
a
adaptation.
lot of my neighbors were little kids. They had
Sure,
DSs.
sure. It's in your bedroom right now, isn't it?
It's a party
Play it
every week.
night.
I don't own a DS.
I think Nintendo has a really good quote for this, and I'm paraphrasing because I can't remember it at all. But
Iwata?
it was
Yeah.
something like how a rushed game is forever bad, but you know, a perfected game is good forever.
Like a delayed game, a game that's delayed to get better. Is
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's what it comes down to.
I mean, it
Like, if
makes
you need
sense.
to delay your game, delay your game. There's nothing worse than shipping something that just doesn't work. It's
think
not
we're
good for anybody.
Grand Theft Auto 5 got delayed for so long. Grand Theft Auto 5 Online didn't come out for years.
Grand Theft Auto 5
Yeah.
is still selling at the top of
Top,
the charts
and-
today.
and-
It's
NPDs
because
every-
every
yeah, every one.
month or whatever, there's a new update. There's something new coming out, and it's like not something you normally see. Like they released a Tron thing in GTA, like that has nothing to do with GTA,
It's
but
so
it
bad.
works perfectly. Like it fits in.
Yeah.
So it's like, what?
Yeah, honestly, I totally blame EA. I mean, this is kind of bad. EA is the worst company ever. Like, I don't want to do that. But like, I blame EA
Nice
for,
meme.
for the right. I do blame EA for the fact that Mass Effect is the way it is because there was no need. Like, I get it was 5-year development hell. Like, a lot of bad things happen, but this is not the publisher's fault. Now everyone has to suffer, and you're ruining the sales of this game and the sales of this franchise.
I don't mean to like hijack this topic,
Go ahead.
but I guess I just have to ask, like, at what point in time do you just cancel a project?
Last Scalebound.
But no, look,
Because
other stuff goes 10 years in for a process. and
Last
then
Guardian
they-
eventually came
Exactly.
out. Final Fantasy
I think-
15.
So it's like what determines they can cancel it after 6 months. They can cancel it after 15 years.
I think it all
or
depends.
not
on,
cancel it.
I think
whatever.
it all depends on if the publishers believe in the product, and I think
That too.
Scalebound, for example, Microsoft stopped believing in it, believing in
and their
Platinum
funding.
games, and so they're like, you know what?
Yeah. So like,
We can't sink money into this game that we don't really think is going to be worth it anyway.
for example, Zelda, it should have come out on Wii U.
It did.
I'm saying at the launch, but it didn't, and they
That's
waited.
not a launch. Come on, man.
Okay, at least close to launch, whatever. Within the first year
Launch
or two.
window? 3
Launch
years in?
window, first year or two at least.
Sure.
But then they release it in the Switch release.
Uh-huh.
So it's like, what they have funding enough to last them to that point to not release a Zelda because they believe Zelda would work. If it was something like,
Yeah, but they have
If-
that's Nintendo
if-
money you're talking
I know
about.
it's Nintendo money, but if it was something like, let's say
Well,
Arms
Last Guardian.
or Last Guard, whatever,
That
but
came
something
out,
that
so.
something that's much smaller that they're not sure if it's gonna work. If it's for like whatever a different publisher, they're not gonna give it funding enough to last those 10 years because they're not sure about it. Like Last Guardian, they gave it because they knew the first one did so well, so they're like, this is gonna
the
do
company,
well,
yeah, like,
right?
the
But if it's
Cloud
like a
Star
new thing, they're gonna be like, look, we can only fund this for so long before
Well, I think
we're
all-
like, why should we fund this anymore after so long? And we'll just cancel
I
it.
think also Platinum Games has had a few really bad games come out recently.
It's not that Platinum Game has bad games.
Korra.
They score
Transformers.
relatively well. Just
But
nobody buys it.
Score doesn't. Yeah,
Transformers?
score means nothing
Or-
That
unless
was
the
bad. No, but I'm talking about like Wonderful 101, Bayonetta.
Yeah, those are old games. Bayonetta 2 is the last good game they put out.
Yeah,
Like,
again, score means nothing. It's all about sales.
that's true. Yeah.
So they could get a 1 and sell a shit ton of them, and they'll be like, let's make another one.
I think it all depends on the publisher having to believe
Yeah.
in the game they're putting out. And I don't think Microsoft believes in them anymore, and I don't think EA was believing in past 5 years, because I think they have way too many people to answer to. And that's
Wait.
sad.
Believe in
Yeah.
Mass Effect.
And they believed in it, but I just don't think they have too many people to answer to. They have too many stakeholders to answer to.
Exactly. Yeah. There's a lot of stuff to work through.
Yeah. It seems like we all pretty much agree on this. Give games more time.
Yeah. If it takes you 2
Yeah.
years to make a game,
Give
take 2
it
years to make
time.
a
Just
game.
don't announce it like 5 years earlier.
Yeah.
Announce it to like the last year.
I like to announce that a game I'm going to start working on next year. It'll be ready by 2025. It'll forever change the face of the roguelike community, and I look forward to
And
it.
and then he'll cancel it in the last 6 months.
Pretty excited.
You can check the Kickstarter page out right now. I need $14 million.
What do you, Shenmue 3?
Yes.